I just come back from the funeral of my grandma, and the question keeps staying there. How can I not waste my life? And maybe this question has always been there. I'm not sure about that. It definitely is more active on the foreground lately, last few months, especially after she was dying. And I do think that the questions I ask myself, or in that case any exposure, any things that I expose myself to, whether they are questions or information or perceived answers, I do think they have a big impact on how I feel. So I have to be cautious of that, I think, because right now I do think that asking myself these questions is a good thing, but I haven't explored it in enough depth to really see for myself if that is true. Whereas I would say, I'm not sure, because it's hard to compare with a long time ago and how you felt back then, but I'm not sure if I felt better when I didn't have all these questions. And yes, maybe during a period where I was more controlled by my mind and these inner thoughts and inner voice, whereas now I'm more aware of it, which also happens to be stopping it a lot of the times, not always yet, definitely not there yet, but I see change. But I also notice that I think that is what I'm getting to, that I feel, I would say, fearful, maybe anxious is the right word, when I think about certain questions, and particularly this one, which is, how can I not waste my life? How can I not waste my life? I think it might be interesting to explore why that is important to me, because can one waste a life? Can I waste my life? I do really think there's just this life. At least that's all I know for it to be certain. I'm here right now, and I'm not sure if that's true, but I still have it. At least that's how it feels, that I have this right now, this life. And I think thinking about that is putting that question there. How can I not waste it? And I think it really, again, comes back to this belief that there might be one thing. And I think the belief is very possible to not be true. That there is not a best thing to pursue, or one thing. For as I could become a world-class athlete, and at the same time a world-class writer, or musician, or artist, or businessman, whatever it is, because I really have that belief. And I would say talent plays a role, and I'm not talented in everything. So there's not an infinite amount of options, but there seems to be, for sure, way more paths than one. And maybe it is about deciding. It's about deciding, like, what do you really want? What do I really want? Which path do I start walking? And the fact is that I'm already started walking on one before, and I'm walking on one right now. So that makes it a question, do I really have a choice? Or am I chosen? And I can't help myself from doing what I'm currently doing and what I'm doing in the future. For if I really want it, I would do that. I would pursue it. I think there is a big thing in there that is true. I really think so. But it seems like I'm not willing to let go of control or perceive control if that is true. I can't accept the fact to be average, to be good, to be okay in something. I have to become the best. That's what I've always wanted. Or at least after I was 12 or so. That's when I felt that. When it comes to soccer, and I knew I wasn't talented enough. Well, there was still in me the belief that I could get to an extreme level and even become the best in my position. And maybe this was delusional, but all I know is that I really felt that. That is true. I felt that. And I feel right now that I think I can have that with writing, but it's different. It's not physical. And there isn't, before I really subscribed to the idea of hard work, but I've just seen through that phrase. And it's not about hard work. It's about only the effective things. And hard work doesn't have to be effective at all. So maybe I'm missing that physical pushing of the body to its limits that I had with soccer, or the competitiveness, because that isn't there with writing. And business there is, but also different. It's a very different situation, and it's definitely not felt on a day-to-day basis for sure. And I'm even not sure if that is if it is a good thing to feel competitive. All I think I know right now is that I feel the lack of that when I think about it, and maybe when I try to answer the question, how can I not waste my time, I'm looking for that something that is missing that I felt before. Because if I asked myself before, when I was still pursuing my professional soccer journey, when I was asking myself that question back then, there was no doubt in my mind. There was no doubt. I know that. And I think because I asked that question, but not explicitly, I could just feel it everywhere. So then that makes me question, why is there not that full certainty right now? What am I missing? What am I not seeing yet? Why do I not feel the same about what I currently do? Not that much, right? So there is a big part of it, but it's not. There's a gap. There's a gap of that clarity, I would say, of just knowing that just every second of pursuing that is not wasted, because that's all I want. And I think right now, is that the case? Is that the case? That's my question. Well, I think it's different, because I would say right now, no. What I'm doing right now is not a waste, because I'm trying to find the answer. But would it be wasted if that answer will never get there? If I keep doing this, keep questioning that, and the answer never comes. That the clarity that I felt before never comes. What if that's true? Well, then I do think I could have done more with my life, because of the belief that there is something out there for me that, yeah, just at least one thing where I just have that same feeling. So I do think that feeling of clarity about this is what I miss right now. That last inch, which doesn't seem to be intellectual understanding, but just a knowing from the heart, where I just know I want that so bad. Then I can go all in, when there is no doubt. So then the question is, where does it really come from? Not sure I can get there through understanding. I guess a sure way is to not question it at all. That is sure. Well, that doesn't even have to be sure, now that I'm saying it, because it could come without questioning it, because it had come before without questioning it. So that is interesting. It's very interesting, because if before I gotten it without questioning it, then why do I think right now that it would come by questioning it? Very interesting. That is very interesting. So how did it come there? That belief that I wanted that as the only thing in my life, to become a professional soccer player. Why was that there? Why did I want that? Well, for sure I was inspired. I was inspired by I think, doing it on such a high level where you're playing Champions League and for your country, and I think it was just really about the joy of doing it. I just really liked playing soccer. And I think more than anything I've ever tried when it comes to sport. I like tennis, but it's not by far nowhere near soccer. How much joy I feel of being on the field, whether it's in the rain, in the sun, doesn't matter. There was just so much joy in just doing it. So maybe that's what I'm looking for the thing that has a similar joy of playing. I think there is a belief in me that would consider my life or part of it wasted if I didn't have physical achievement, something that was physical. Because I really enjoy writing and business, but money is just uninteresting to me now, beyond the minimum needs, whatever you call minimum, just enough to not have to care about it for the rest of my life. And writing doesn't include much physical activity, more mental. And that's what I like about it. And I do think there's a belief, I do think that is true. I do think there is a belief inside of me that sees my life as wasted or part of it if I did not achieve something where I had to use my body and had to train it, be the best in that area, a physical thing. But is this really true? Because when I think about it, for example, let's say I would become the best soccer coach of the world. Would I still see my life as wasted? Because it is not a physical achievement in that sake. At least that's not what it seems to me. So, and I do think that in that case, then it would not. But that's difficult to answer because it's just words and a thought experiment. But it seems to be. I don't think that is a wasted life, even though it's not a physical thing. So then could it be about prizes or competition? Whereas you don't have that with writing, because it's. I think I've been very conditioned to be really focused on external motivations, such as competition, such as rewards, prizes, trophies, medals, records. Whereas with writing, this is I don't know. I'm sure you have maybe prizes there, but I'm not sure if I would give a damn about that. And it's just it seems very internal thing. There seems to be no winning. I want to know that I'm winning or not. I think this is inside of me. I want to know that I'm winning something, being the best. I think this is what I want to know, and what I'm not sure if I can find that in writing, because there is no one to compete to. And maybe you can create that, but I'm not sure if that will work, if that even matters. It seems to be not there. It seems to be so internal versus seems to be so contradictory to what I've always, I think, been exposed to. Which is everywhere, like in school, then later in school, then more in school, then at judo, then at soccer, basically everywhere, always. Well, of course not with grades, but even then with school grades, so not physical things, not sports, but with school grades, at least you know if you're doing a good or bad job. There is a grade, after all. And you could say, okay, with writing or becoming a writer, you could attach that to different things. If a lot of people like it, then you're a better writer, and if they don't, then they don't. But it seems to be that with art, there is not maybe there is a way to know if you're winning, which is you just really want to create it, and that's it. But it seems not to be progressive, or it's I would say really confusing or lacking clarity so far from me yet. But I do think I got closer to why that is. Yeah. But I do think I really enjoyed the feeling of this competitiveness, winning mentality. I did really enjoy that, and I do think that I'm missing that right now. So there's either a way to make sure I don't miss that feeling by understanding where it comes from, if that is true, and other way would be to actually get back that well, I would say those aspects, those missing aspects, very interesting. I think I got a lot more clarity on that, but it's not there yet. Talk soon.